Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip, and welcome to the channel. Thank you, as always, for allowing me to be part of your day, guys. I appreciate it more than you know. I really, really do. Please make sure that you're subscribed. If you think you're subscribed, if you want to be subscribed, just unsubscribe and subscribe. Because there's some sort of glitch or something. A few of you were like, I didn't unsubscribe, Toddy, but I didn't unsubscribe you. Anyway. Gypsy Rose and the fact that we were talking about how she can influence people online only to find proof of it in a man named Joe. And how Joe, who's, I guess, autistic. I mean, we've seen this playbook before. Why she is able and allowed, and by certain people, allowing this to continue to grow and happen and mess with people's minds and hearts. And she wants to say her mom grifted. Man, you ain't got nothing on your mother, Gypsy. You ain't got nothing on that woman. That woman's a complete amateur compared to you. Awful, terrible person. And content creators get, oh, you're taking it too far. You're too dramatic. It's not going to happen. And Biggins like that. She can't be responsible like the Ozzy Osbourne song. We are responsible for what we put out there in this world. End of story. We are. It's us. We are responsible for what we put out there in this world. For what comes out of our mouth, we are responsible for that. So when a few of us, if not all of us, I'm being kind, said, hey, Gypsy's dangerous to anybody online, everybody turned their head. So are we waiting for another Dee Dee? Are we just waiting for this to happen? Because clearly Gypsy has made no lifelong strides into changing her behavior, that this would be her behavior. Get rid of the problem. Rinse, repeat, wash. Wash, rinse, repeat. Doesn't matter which way it goes. When you're in the middle of it, it's all continual. Is continuously going into which direction? Where is her life taking her now? Somebody said, oh, there's going to be a new show and it's going to be about the engagement. Let me tell you something. They would have to be so desperate for money, because that would be the only reason why I think Ken's going to put a ring on it, because he would have done that already. There is nothing in Gypsy's behavior that has changed for him to say, yeah, I trust her. Now he's probably found out, oh, fuck, she's writing to this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. That's who she is, Ken. That's who she is, Ryan. And she probably ain't writing to you anymore. And people just co-sign it like, no big deal. Just another person to use. You see what they're doing to Dreamer? I mean, they're picking apart Dreamer. Her kids are online talking about what a messy person. That's part of Gypsy's posse right there. See what happens when she gets rid of her posse. Guys, you can have a rose right in the middle of a beautiful, beautiful garden. And if that rose is poison, all of the stuff around it will turn to weeds. And ultimately, that rose is going to eat them. And that's who Gypsy is. I mean, that's my analogy of her. And there's no rose there. There's nothing even remotely pretty about her. There's nothing in looks except when she uses a bunch of filters, which is a fake person. That person doesn't exist. It might as well be AI. Just like when Brie makes herself real thin and pretty. It's AI bullshit. These are people that clearly don't like themselves. And because of that, instead of doing the work on themselves, they're out here fucking with people's lives. Fucking with the behavior of people. Misconstruing everything. Taking advantage of weak-minded people. That's what they're doing. Trying to change the opinions of people that don't know the full story by yelling and screaming and berating not by any kind of proof. The proof doesn't sit in Gypsy's hands. It doesn't even sit in Bree's hands, as much as she likes to think she has it all. She could have everything. She's going to read it in a fairy tale way because that's the narrative she wants to spin. It doesn't make sense. We saw the crime scene. We know that Gypsy can walk, run, just like the average bear. So we know she could have left, outran her mom, took the money and even outran her mom. She could have turned around and said, my mom got this money. She could have blackmailed her mom. I'm going to do this. I'm sure she did. And her mom probably said, well, you're in it too, dear. And that might have been the end of it. I mean, literally the end of it for Dee Dee. Something happened that made it say, no more. And I really am beginning to think it's not a boy, because Gypsy could go run and go stay wherever. Where was Dee Dee going? Dee Dee wasn't healthy enough to go and chase her daughter. So that wasn't it. It wasn't that she just wanted to be with a boy, because she could have done it. And besides, we all know Dee Dee really liked Nick. I think Dee Dee really wanted Gypsy to live a very happy life. And I think what happened was Dee Dee realized that she was being manipulated by Gypsy. And little by little, when you live with somebody and you see things, you don't really notice their growth. You don't notice this. It takes a while because you see them daily. But after 2 attempts at her life, probably Dee Dee must have said, yeah, this is going to be really serious. I think she would have been thrilled if Gypsy just would have left. But that wasn't enough for Gypsy. There is so much anger inside of Gypsy that the result of that looked like Dee Dee after the scene. What did her mom do? Because we know it wasn't the Munchausen, because it didn't exist. We know there wasn't any kind of control or anything. What we know is that there is a vicious person. Her name is Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and that's the way she gets things done. It's never pretty. It's never amicable. It's never truthful. It's disastrous. And all it leaves behind is a gory scene. Whether it be somebody's heart, whether it be somebody's heart theoretically, whether it be someone's heart theoretically, or whether it be somebody's back literally. What happened that made Gypsy so angry? I'm beginning to think that her mother said something. I can't do this anymore. We're not going to make it. You're lying. You could walk. I think that's what happened. It wasn't a guy, because she could leave anytime she wanted to. It wasn't that. Dee Dee had no control over Gypsy. Gypsy had the control over Dee Dee. So what happened? Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. What do you think the reason was? I think Dee Dee was probably ready to somehow get rid of Gypsy, and Gypsy felt threatened, but it wasn't because of a boy. It wasn't even because of a man. That doesn't make sense anymore. Not that we know how sick Dee Dee was and how diabolically gross Gypsy is. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. You guys still think it's a guy, or do you think it's something else? Let me know. Thanks, guys. Be well.